Look at this snazzy new poster and the new emojis that are on Twitter. So much stuff to discuss. And the trailer. We have a lot to break down. But where I want to start our journey is actually in the comments section for the trailer this evening. And one of you, Rain, said, I'm scared that after WandaVision is over, nothing will be able to top it. But then James Keeling had a good response and said, I think that Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be the most accessible Marvel show, so it'll probably do incredibly well. Are you tired of your non-Marvel superfan friends not watching WandaVision? Well, that probably won't be an issue with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I've also seen some of you saying this seems like a step back, but a step back to what made Marvel so successful in the first place. It's not, and also, I wouldn't say it's a step back. It's a step to another track, because Kevin Feige is in fact running on dual tracks. He's doing the multiverse saga, but at the same time, he's a busy guy. He's also doing Thunderbolts. Oh, it's so exciting. Thunderbolts are basically Marvel's Suicide Squad. I did a whole video on that, link down below in the video description, and I'll pin it at the top of the comments. But so they're basically Marvel's Suicide Squad, but instead of being run by Amanda Waller, they're run by Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, who of course also is the Red Hulk, and he's rumored to be showing up in the Hulk show. And Yelena Belova is going to not only show up in Hawkeye, but I've told you I heard she shows up here as well. So as I said, it's two different tracks, and they're both going to be fantastic. Now, before we break down this trailer, I first want to talk about this amazing poster. Oh, it's a beauty. It's really good. This poster is as good as Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Not the main poster, but the European poster, which I think it eventually made its way to the United States. But this is very good. I love it. It's got all of our main players on it. It's even got Red Wing flying up really cutely there in the middle. But we've got, I'm glad Sam's getting the respect he deserves up there, and Bucky's showing off his new bionic arm. It looks fantastic. I love the black and gold, Bucky. You look fantastic. That's U.S. Agent there in the middle. He's villainous, just like Zemo right next to him. Zemo looks fantastic there. There's Sharon, almost doing a butt shot. Kind of not cool. She doesn't look as cool as Black Widow did on that original poster. As some of you pointed out, it would be great to see her get her all-white suit from the comics at some point here. Although, she'd have to be pretty badass to run around in this dirty, grimy world in all white. And then we have this new character down here at the bottom. This is the actress, in fact, from Solo, and some people say she's Flag Smasher. What's interesting is that she leads or is part of a group of like Antifa type people. You know, the timing on this show is ridiculous, but I mean, it's like amazing because it's going to seem ripped from the headlines. Although we'll see what's happening. Although March, it's only about a month away. Can you believe that? Boy, we're moving fast. But you know, this show is going to have white supremacist kind of characters on one side, I believe, with U.S. Agent. And then it's also going to have Antifa. And then it's going to have a foreign person, meddling behind the scenes with Zemo. So, wow, as I said, ripped from the headlines. So I'm very, very excited for this. And I'll be curious to see how Marvel navigates this, if they can do that kind of commentary, because that's a tall order. My guess, for the basic Thunderbolt setup, in the comics, as I said in my video on this, just so you have your setup to go into this, Zemo creates a team of villains posing as heroes to take advantage of the Avengers missing. We'll see what happens at the end of WandaVision. But, by the way, remember, this was supposed to actually come out before WandaVision. It's supposed to come out after Black Widow. The end credit scene in Black Widow is going to tie into Falcon and Winter Soldier somewhat, but now they're coming out in reverse. Everything's out of order. But I'm sure it's loose and it still works. But in the comics, there was a room for a new superhero team to step in. So Zemo said, I'm going to have some villains pretend to be heroes, gain the public and government's trust, and then use that trust to get access to government secrets. So it's a pretty good idea. And then also in the comics, U.S. Agent ended up being a villain. And we've seen shades of that in behind-the-scenes footage from filming that we've seen leak. So my guess is that this is just as exciting as WandaVision. It's just like in a different Tom Clancy style way instead of like the true crime thing that's going on with Wanda. Wanda has a little bit of salaciousness to it as well, which really helps it out. So, it has like a little bit of a soap opera quality. I don't know if this is going to have that. But I think that John Walker is an agent of Zemo. And so the question is that part of Ross's Thunderbolts operation? Or is Ross's Thunderbolts operation going to take Zemo down and Bucky's going to get recruited? Bucky, of course, in the comics, for a period ran the Thunderbolts. He was team leader. I'm pretty excited. All right, so let's break it down. If it's more accessible, it still needs to have a big reveal almost every week, like Mando did as well. So I think maybe they just aren't quite stepping things up here yet because they want to give still WandaVision its space. I suspect that there's a week between the two shows. I bet you a trailer comes out right then. That's going to have a lot in it. All right, so let's all right, now we're finally going to break it down. All right, here we go. So I don't know why they're in therapy. Like, it makes me wonder, how did Bucky get official, right? I mean, he's supposed to be off the grid. Now he's like, what, reporting for psychiatric evaluation? Now, I said this felt very Fast and Furious, but some of you went one step further and said it was very Hobbs and Shaw. And I agree, because it has that dynamic where they hate each other, but they can't stop working together. So I agree that this has that element. So she's like, Mr. Barnes, why did Sam Wilson annoy you so much? And so here we see he's so annoyed. So we saw this a little bit before in the plane. But there not being a plan. Look, he doesn't use a parachute, but he has wings. So there he goes. I love the blue lights on that. The way the Marvel Studios logo kind of glows. That's real nice. And it's going to play into these buildings that we're going to see in just a moment. So there we go. This looks a little like Hong Kong from Godzilla. You guys pointed out that's the downtown Hong Kong. But I think there's a rumor going around that this might be Madripoor. Oh, wouldn't that be great if they brought in that fictional Marvel city that Wolverine, a.k.a. Patch, when he's undercover, likes to go and visit. And I do believe that Sam and Bucky are undercover for part of this as well. I'm going to be folding in some of my observations from the first look trailer from Disney Investor Day because I never got the chance to break that down for you. So their rumor is that this might be Madripoor, which would make me so happy. It's beautiful. I don't think that's the exact skyline. I think they might have altered it a little bit. So that makes me further feel that it might be a fictional city. Looks great. So there we go. Now that's the rooftops. Let's look. It's Madripoor. It's looking a little Gotham-y too there. Now, I suspect from the first look that we got that Sam is undercover maybe as someone from Wakanda, which would be so cool, and Bucky's pretending to be his bodyguard. I love it. I would like to see this very much. That even Black Panther went undercover, and that was a lot of fun. We could have both groups running into each other undercover. That's crazy. So here's Zemo with his little monument to Sokovia, and that looks like it could be his family. So I'm like, did you build this? Did someone else make it? But it certainly hits home, right, Zemo? He's like, it is my family. Now he's saying, and this is so great, Zemo is saying, and I love Daniel Bruhl. Have you seen Rush? Rush is so good. It was like a great movie. Not enough people paid attention to that, co-starring Thor. And Daniel Bruhl was in it, and he just did such an absolutely wonderful job. He's a German actor. He never took off the way he should have. Maybe this will do it, right? So, and he, of course, is from Sokovia, like Scarlet Witch. So there's a little bit of crossover there, too. It should be fun. So he's saying, I have no intention to leave my work unfinished. Oh, we were distracted by Thanos, but Zemo has stayed on track, right? I love that. Wasn't he supposed to be in prison? I wonder if General Ross let him out. So maybe we'll start the show with a prison break, though. But there he is with his mask, and he's walking so cool. I mean, he's helped by a really cool jacket and leather gloves. I mean, he looks fantastic. He's so well dressed, but he's really walking so cool. And this is the same kind of like shipping canisters where we see Sharon fighting a little bit later in this trailer. So it looks like he's about to make an entrance. Oh, I love it. But he has such swagger, and I'm so excited for him to. I mean, it's tough to have to play a villain with your face covered. A lot of actors have had to deal with that, from James Marsden to Pedro Pascal, but it can be done. And so far, it looks like Daniel Bruhl has the body language to sell it. So look at that. He looks so great. And so he puts his mask on, and it's going to be fantastic. So then we have an explosion, and then here we see this character. Now, I've also seen rumors online that she could be related in some way to Bucky. Oh, so that's why later on in the trailer, where he says, "Oh, that girl beat you," he might have a little bit of an excuse. Well, it's fine if a girl beats him, but still, it could be it couldn't be an extra funny line because it's his genetics. So they go to work with their Antifa-ness, but then you cut right to the other side of the spectrum, these, white supremacy hiding within the military, which is it's just unfortunately a real life issue. So it's like, that's really close to home. Marvel rarely has those kind of zingers. So I believe this is the introduction of John Walker, because who's on hand to see what's going on? Bucky, wearing the exact same outfit he did right when he was walking around in Civil War. He just has shorter hair. He's like, I really like this burgundy hoodie and hat. Although, pay attention, he's basically wearing red and blue, right? I guess his skin is the white, but red, white, and blue. The production designer did a fantastic job. It's a little like Home Alone is always Christmas colors in all the scenes. Look, there's red and kind of like bluish chairs. Just notice that it's red, white, and blue all the time in this show. Which is funny. I love it. This to me is a very powerful shot. This is what I chose as my poster frame. I love Cap looking down at him, his friend Steve Rogers, and him really feeling, the weight of the legacy, and then also, being in the shadow of Steve Rogers. And he looks pretty sharp himself in his suit. Looking good, Anthony Mackie. I hope he gets to use the shield more. I feel like I really want Anthony Mackie to be handled well here. I do not, Sam Wilson's always had a hard time. It never worked in the comics taking over for Cap. So, it's very important they pull this off. That's a great shot, though. Even his jawline looks fantastic. His beard, his goatee, looking good. Looking sharp, Sam. All right. So he throws the shield, and Bucky catches it. And as I said in my reaction, like, what are you guys going to do, share the shield? Now, on the one hand, I'm like, okay, that'll be fun. But on the other hand, I'm like, what? So are you saying it takes the two of them to equal one Steve Rogers? I don't think that's very fair to Bucky or Sam. So I have a little bit of a problem with that, to be honest with you. Sam gets the shield. Bucky has the bionic arm and, gets to live forever. Because, I guess Sam also has the wings. But, Now, look, so they're doing some kind of in-the-air heist. Because you got to have something to make Sam use his wings. And I guess maybe the target is that ravine. Ooh, get ready for some maneuvers. March 19th, right around the corner. So this might be a Madripoor nightclub. As I told you, I think they're undercover. So we start to see some cool action sequences, fight scenes. So look at that. So I think in a couple of these shots, oh, look, there's Zemo behind him. Oh, look, without his mask on. But that's a cool coat. Zemo looks great. Way to have great posture. But so Bucky, this is like GQ, the series. I love it. So I think they're in a couple of these action fight scenes that you see with Bucky. They're trying to show just how powerful he is. Like his punches and his kicks aren't regular punches and kicks. But what the hell? Don't put a show on for Zemo. He's going to be looking at all your moves. I wonder who's standing next to Zemo. I wonder who that is. Is that undercover? I'm not sure who that is. That's interesting. All right, we'll see. All right. So he's like, I do have a plan. And I'm like, I would feel more comfortable about your plan if it didn't look like your goggles were crooked. How did they not catch that when they were filming? I'd be like, cut! His freaking goggles are crooked. He's the hero of the show, the lead. He has to look awesome at all times. All right. So he's like, I have a plan. I just didn't tell it to you yet. And there's Sharon. She needs a cooler outfit. But I do like this fight sequence, all right? So this is a cool fight sequence. First of all, you'll notice that red, white, and blue shipping containers. So that's hilarious. And it is her doing, unless they did face replacement, although she has so much hair over her. Because at first she had so much hair over her face, I was like, is that to cover a stunt double? But then it does look like Emily Van Camp's face. So that would be hard to do face replacement with all that hair. So I wonder if she actually did the stunt work. If she did, that's very impressive. So she has batons like Black Widow. So I love watching these things in slow motion because she really sells it. But when you watch it in slow motion, you can see that when she threw this baton, she totally misses that guy who just knows to move at the right moment. And then when she does this knee, that guy also never gets hit, but he knows how to move the right way. So this just gives you an idea of how well choreographed and how well trained these stunt professionals are and why stunt work should get more attention. All right. At least SAG gives it some credits. So here, I love the use of the football field, right? During the big game spot. But I'm a little bit frustrated we've seen so little of U.S. Agent. And that's Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, playing him. So that's a pretty big deal. All right, so this, I'm like, what was happening here? And I think that Bucky hits this guy so hard that he flips over several times. And he punches him mid-flip. I mean, that guy in the back is like, ooh, I wonder what all the masks are. Is that because Zemo is covering his face? That's an interesting motif. Good job, production design. See, there's stuff here for us to dissect. I don't know if it'll possibly work in as many levels as WandaVision, but here's hoping. So anyway, here's Sam, a bird. Don't fight a caged bird, man. And so he's a bird man. So he's fighting inside the plane. And he uses his wings really well. I love the way they make a shield because it really looks like a shield. That's also very cool design. That looks great. I like that a lot. So he's like, I'll just wait it out. There's more firing. Now, I like the way he picks up the shield here. This is also a very good shot. He picks it up almost again like he feels the weight of it. It's not actually heavy. Maybe it is for him. He doesn't have super strength like Steve and Bucky do. But I think, just like, am I really going to be Captain America? And I'd be like, you better hurry up and claim this shield because everybody seems to want it, from John Walker to Bucky. So he throws it. He really has to work hard to throw it. Maybe it is a little heavy for him. Explosion. And then we have a fight on 2 trucks. And again, this looks like red and blue a little bit, or at least red and black. And one in the back and one of them is open. Now, I believe Bucky is on one truck and Sam's on the other. I think they're trying to maybe rip his wings off or something over there. And then so they each have a truck. You get a truck. You get a truck. Sorry, that's my drink. All right. I got a little refreshment. But I have to say, by the way, or Flag Smasher, whoever you are, those are some nice light green, like combat, safari pants. I like them a lot. Those are great. So they're doing some fun. I love this. I wonder who's holding on next to him. Is that a bad person or someone they're trying to help? I have to say bad person because I think it's a woman. We no longer have bad guys. It's a bad person. I like it a lot. All right, so I love this. I really like the way Bucky used his metallic arm in Winter Soldier. And we haven't seen too much of that. So I love the way he rips through the truck trying to hold on to it. And then he almost gets pulled under. Oh, he's a little out of shape. And Sam teases him, okay? And so as I said, it might be his relative. And then, here comes a truck. And he has to move, and that reminds me of National Lampoon's, actually. The National Lampoon's Christmas with the, driving under the truck. But, that's pretty good. And then we have this very cool logo. I love the logo. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's a pain in metadata. It takes up a lot of space, but it's a cool title. And then I think that this should have been used for in the Loki trailer, they used this for that amazing Loki shot from the comics, and it blew all of our minds. But here they decided to go with a gag. But let's see. Again, maybe it makes the show more accessible. So these guys, they're having a staring contest. And I got to tell you, I don't like that the female character is the wet blanket here. That's the same problem that Evangeline Lilly had over in Ant-Man and the Wasp, that film. I think women need to be part of the group. I don't like it when women are, like the babysitters, the sisters, or the moms, like Wendy and Peter Pan. We want to play with everybody else. So that's one of the reasons that Black Widow is so awesome. Although she sometimes has to, be the maternal figure. She was doing that a little bit in Civil War, which I didn't appreciate then either. All right. So anyway, I like that. I think Bucky has this, by the way. You can see Sam straining a little bit because I would like to know who would win. I mean, look, that's funny. Anthony Mackie does sell that comedically. But I think, does Bucky have a little assistance there, being able to blink because, not be able to blink because of his super soldier serum? I think he was going to win it. And luckily, that lady messed it up. Maybe that's why Sam isn't too upset. So I'm very excited about this. I think it's going to be really fun. I think when you think about it on the 2 separate tracks, Multiverse and Thunderbolts, it really comes together and it gets more exciting. So what do you think? What are your theories? Let's start thinking about it now so we can hit the ground running on March 19th. We only get a week to breathe. It's going to be beautiful. Thank you for going over this with me. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.